Welcome to Travel Daily's Inspirational Women in Travel Asia series. My name is Michaela Connor, and I am the co-founder and chairperson of the IWTA committee. And I'm very honored to be here today and joined by Ha Lam, who is the founder and CEO of the Happy Farm. Now, you grew up in Saigon and you're still based in Saigon, Vietnam, but you travel a lot. So where in the world are you dialing in from right now?
Michaela, currently I'm in Singapore for a short business trip, and very nice to meet you today. Yeah.
Thank you. What a life to travel around for business, right? It must feel so good to finally be able to do that again.
Yes. Especially after 2.5 years.
I know, right? That was a long time. Thank you so much for taking your time to dialing in from Singapore today and for participating in these series. We're very excited to hear your story today. So can you start off by telling us a little bit about how you fell into the travel industry?
My story started with the travel industry that started in 2005. When I was the first year student. You won't believe it, because during that time my major in the university is Chinese study, and my English speaking skill was terrible. So at that time, I and my friends, 10 friends, we decided to start a voluntary tour guide club in Ho Chi Minh City. It's named Saigon Hot Pot. And then we started being the tour guide for every single tourist coming to Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, and Vietnam for free. So we don't charge any fees, and because the mission for us as the student that we want to improve our English speaking skill. And for people who was born in the normal family, study English at the English center is so expensive for us. So that's the reason why we have, as young generation, we have energy, we have time, we have enthusiasm. So we use those values, those skills to bring the beauty of Vietnam and the city to travelers. Yeah, and then I work in the travel project, but I don't want to have the lifestyle of every day start at 8 a.m. and finish at 6 or 7 p.m. And it's not the life I want. And during the time with Saigon Hot Pot, the voluntary tour guide club, I love to meet people from different cultures, from different countries. And also I being the professional tour guide for the travel company in Vietnam. So I started normally, like the company have the fixed itinerary, and traveler have to travel in those itinerary and travel with the group. So there is many travelers, they love to travel with local to enjoy the authentic experience, and also have some time to have the deep conversation, understand each other and understand the culture of the city. Because when we travel to many countries in the world, you may see similarity of the scenery, the difference that the cuisine, the culture, and the people. So that's the reason why I and my co-founder Hai Ho, we started TripMe, that the impact sustainable travel platform that have to connect local experts and travelers all around the world. So everyone can be the local expert by create the experience they love to give for the travelers. And we started in 2014 as the official company, and then we grow to 98 countries and over 635 cities all around the world with over 6,000 local experts. Globally.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a wonderful and amazing journey and experience for me. When I I'm so proud that I decided to quit the corporate life and stable job. But the story of trip will feature to many media already. We sold our house. We didn't have the funding. We sold the house and we used that to fund for the start of the company and it growing up. So then before COVID 2020, during that time, I learned a lot. I have a lot of lesson in startup industry, and also have the lifestyle at the startup, like every day, so busy with the meeting, planning, and a lot of things. Then I realized I had in 2016, I have a chance to visit Bhutan, and that country, that trip completely changed the way I see life and the way I live in life also. Then I worked at Trip until 2020. Then I left the company and I created a new company named the Happy Firm, inspired by Bhutan. Because Bhutan, they measure the role of the country by gross national happiness. And that's the true happiness, not just the happiness for like marketing or PR. Then I started the Happy Firm with the mission, make happiness our destination. And my life completely changed in a good way. And for the Happy Firm, that we mainly focus on the exotic destination and experience also. And for each trip, we want to bring the positive impact and transformation for the travelers, because there's coming to the state that people don't like to travel in big group or big tour, and the quality of the experience is more important. But not only the experience, the tour, but when we as the traveler in sustainable tourism, we need to leave the footprints of kindness, that we not only experience ourselves in the immerse nature culture, but also understand deeply how the country they grown up and reserve their unique and authentic culture. So that for the Happy Firm. Yes.
Wow, what a journey.
It's just a long journey. Huh?
It's an amazing journey. So I'm gonna go back in time a little bit, because to take that step, it sounds like you got an entrepreneurial spirit, because you were starting, you're thinking, oh no, I'm gonna create this tour guide hot pot, like Saigon hot pot, with my friends. And then for the travel platform that you started from being a tour guide, you sold your house to fund such a business venture. And that must take quite a bit of courage to kind of go from dream to action. So how did you do that? Now, how did you go from this is what I would love to do to I'm actually doing it?
Let me reflect at those times. I think that because of the passion and the gut, that we believe in the idea, the startup. So, and then we realize that we only have one life to live, and we're lucky to find our passion at early age, because surrounding us, many people, even our parents, like they have a life, but until now they don't know like what's their passion, or they know their passion, but they cannot live with that passion. They have to like work every day just to make money to have for the family, for the kids to go to school. So I think that we grateful and lucky to find our own passion as a young age and just go for it, because we believe money is I think that if our mind strong enough, money is the easy things that we can earn and make. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much is enough for you. Yeah.
Oh, I like those words. Very wise.
So once on the house, we asked my parents to stay together in the small house where over 10 people living together. And I have 3 children also.
Yeah.
So we not have the comfortable life, but at the same time, we have the happy life, because all the family members gather together. Yeah. And we share dinner, we share stories, and the kids also have the caring of the grandparents. So I think that in this life, nothing perfect, but we're lucky with our passion, so we go for it. Yeah. Then, we get the good results for our life.
Yeah, you certainly did get a good result. Yeah, I agree. And then you talked about you traveled to Bhutan and it changed your life. What was it about Bhutan that changed you particularly? I mean, when you read about Bhutan, it always talks about the happiest country in the world, the biggest smiles in the world. and yeah, you're right. Marketing wise, it's what you read. It's always the same kind of words that are used to describe Bhutan. and you went there. So can you describe with other words what it was that changed you from that trip?
I think that's one word only I learned from Bhutan, and that was I still learning until now: compassion. So because Bhutan is the Buddhism country, so I found compassion in every single person I met during the trip. Not only the first trip, until now over 20 trips to Bhutan already. So compassion, that's something that I think that many Bhutanese people, they learn since they were a child. And because of the Buddhism country, they practice this also. So whatever they do, they think about compassion and karma. So that's the reason why they do good things. And for, I think in my opinion, happiness is something very simple. It's not something it's too, like how say, it's too big, and we have to have the big mission, become someone, be featured in like famous global media. Happiness, something that's every day we still breathe the fresh air, have the food, and also have family members surrounding us. It's just something very simple. It's not something it's too, like how say, it's too big, and we have to have the big mission, become someone, be featured in like famous global media.
The less you want, the more you get.
Yes. So for Bhutan, it's not only about the world's happiness, but because of the, how say, the energy of the country. So the country with fresh air, people treating each other by compassion, love, kindness, and also the organic food, like agriculture organic, and 72% of the country covered by trees and forests, and they value mother nature. So mother nature is the source of happiness. So that many elements combine together that create a great positive energy for the country. Pure lands and with them, how say, wonderful people. I'm grateful and lucky to meet wonderful people in Bhutan. So
it's on my bucket list. One day I'm going to make it to Bhutan, but hearing you talk about it, I'm thinking Bhutan has got so many of these things that's missing in the world today. So I think like probably all the world leaders should go to Bhutan in the next few years to take something away with them to implement in their countries. Is a beautiful story. So
and also the other things that Bhutan very value sustainability. And also the country, because that's the small kingdom, the traveler tourists going to Bhutan, until now they have to pay the tax at least $200 SDF fund for the government. So that traveling to Bhutan also can consider expensive. But it's not about that you must have money that you can travel to Bhutan. It's about the people who travel to Bhutan, they must understand and value the local culture and environment. Because the small Himalaya kingdom can easily to wipe out because of the modern world, because of the role of the international media and everything. So that's what I realized from the changes of the policy of the government and His Majesty the King in Bhutan, which I value the most.
Sounds magical. So you mentioned sustainability. So I want to ask you, what are your values that you've kind of grown up with that drives your purpose of today in your life?
Personal values. I think that's my personal value. I already talked during sharing the Bhutan story: compassion and happiness. Yeah. So I just need to learn deeply and understand deeply. That's 2 words only. That 2 words seem so easy, but it's not easy to take action and practice.
Yeah. So did you find your values, or did you define your values when you visited Bhutan, or did you already have them quite strong?
I think that I already have some seed of those values. So in a human being life, we have many values, and depends on which value we priority. So at the moment, my priority is compassion and happiness. These are the values in work and in relationship, in families, but those two words, compassion and happiness, that I value the most at the moment. Priority.
And talking about sustainability and your experience in Bhutan and how you created a happy firm from your first visit there, what do you think the travel industry could do more of or could do better in?
In terms of sustainability, you mentioned about that.
Yeah, anything, sustainability, or the travel industry, we have a choice to have a negative footprint or a positive footprint. We have a lot of control of how we treat this earth and the people in it. Yeah.
So now I think that I'm will sharing from the role as the traveler, because in tourism industry there's many sectors and people involved in, and one person cannot change the whole industry. So now I think that's I'm sharing from the role of the travelers. So I think that's the traveler itself. When COVID comes, it reminding us a lot. Before, easy for us to fly anywhere in the world. And there is the trend that people calculate how many cities and countries they travel as the way to show that you successful, you someone or something. But then I realized that for them it's just a flash. You travel to a city or to the place, but not spend too much time with the local community, with the people there. And also during your trip, what kind of footprints you leave there. It's not necessary like something very big, like you stay at the 5-star hotel, or you spend a lot of money to do to have the local people there. It's all about your kindness, your smile, your energy that bring to the local community. Because if the travelers, we travel to the local community, but we didn't respect the culture or didn't leave a good image to the local people, how they find the inspiration and motivation to keep the business. So as a traveler, our important that's leave footprints of kindness, good image. We show how good of show the good value of each of us as a human being, caring, loving, and instead of now there are many people worried that being cheated by the local community or local people by a lot of things. It's happened everywhere in the world. But I believe that when we use our warm heart, love and kindness, we will receive back. So that what I experienced during my many trips to different countries in the world. Just a very the small gesture are just the words, complimentary or good words you give to the people you meet on the way that make them smile and shine the whole day and make the experience totally different. So first, the behavior of the travelers importance.
Yeah, and I guess in the travel industry, my personal opinion, I feel like we can lead by example, and we can say no to things that are not good for the local communities. And we can educate our travelers. We have a lot of influence there where we can educate about local customs and local communities and the cultures, and educate about behaviors and educate about environmental issues, because it's not just the locals' problems, it's everyone's problem. Yeah, it's an exciting industry, and we can channel that energy into the right place together with the travelers.
And also because of the rising trends of social media, TikTok, video, reels, so many young travelers, they just they have some action and activities not suitable with the local culture, custom, also environment, the nature there. So we have to travel with our mind also. The travelers, we have to respect every single aspect of the difference of the country.
Traveling is the best place to learn, in my opinion. It's the best school of life. Life. Yeah.
I agree because I remember my daughter when she was 4 years old. Now she's 11 years old. She asked me, "Mom, what's the best school in the world?" And at that time, I think that maybe Oxford or Harvard. But then her answer is the best school in the world is the world. So Mom, please do your best to take us to travel around the world with you. So
So true.
it's totally true.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, best lessons I've learned has been through traveling.
And the more we travel, the more we realize that we know nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, there's always more to learn, but that's also very exciting because that journey never ends. Yeah. Now, what's looking back at your of your life and the achievements personally and professionally, what has been your proudest moment?
I say I have many proudest moments. So firstly, that I took my family to Bhutan to travel with me, my parents, my children, and then we conquered Tiger, like the monastery on the cliff of the mountains.
Wow.
And then not only my family, my auntie, my brothers also have a chance to travel to Bhutan. My second one, I think that's the first company in Vietnamese we charter the flight directly from Vietnam to Bhutan in 2017, and until now we still have the charter flight to Bhutan for Vietnamese people. Yeah. And for each charter flight, that's the special experience also. People travel with kindness, and after the trip they have a lot of transformation in life in good way and realize a lot of things. I think that until today, the most proudest moment for me that my family, my parents, my children, my brothers, my sister, we live together in a house, happy house. And then we caring for each other, and we share lots of good value together. Because during COVID, many of my friends' family, they lost their loved one because of COVID. So I think that's until now value the life more and value the moment when we still together with the family members and the loved one. Yes.
And you have a lot of titles. So you're a mother, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. What's your, I don't know if it's a secret, but like how do you manage life balance? Because you travel a lot, your business is growing, you have your family. How do you manage that?
How to answer this question? I think like for every single role, just living in the moment. I live in that title. I'm living in that role. For example, at the moment, I'm talking to you, sharing with you as the role of the business woman with the happy firm. So mainly focus on that. My mind didn't function well to think about family or children. When I travel, I mainly focus on the travel experience and what I gonna do and like see the scenery and experience the culture. So I don't remember much about my children or my family or even my company. So mainly focus on the moments, living in the moment, the presence. But when I'm back home as a mother, the daughter of my parents, I'm fully fulfilled that role. And the most important that we have to be mindful in every single role. As a woman, you have to admit that we wear different hats every day.
Yes.
So for each role, we just be our authentic self. The great opportunities for me to fulfill my life with many lessons, because each role, each day, giving me a lot of experiences and lessons to learn.
And I think, what you talked about, each role you have, it can be very challenging for, I'm going to talk on behalf of women or how I know I've felt in the past is you're under a lot of pressure in each one of them. You kind of forget who you are. But what I've taken away from you there is learning to be present where you are at this moment and not always thinking about where else should you be at that moment, because then it's very hard to be present with family or with the kids or at work or wherever it might be. So that's very good advice that I'm going to keep your voice inside my head when I feel myself drifting away somewhere. Be present. Now I want to talk about two very important things I read in your bio. That's very impressive, and I want to know more. You've received 2 amazing awards.
Mm.
Tell us, what are those awards?
So you mentioned about Forbes 30 and the 30
Yes.
and celebrating her award at ITB Berlin.
Yes. Amazing. Tell us more about these two. That's amazing achievement.
I'll say I have to thanks to my friends, my colleagues, also my customers, my partner, the person in tourism industry, because they have to nominate me for this award. And this was also helping me a lot in my career path in tourism industry. And I realized that I felt so happy when receiving the award, but at the same time, it's bringing me more responsibility, because the award just the awards at that moment only. But what next? Because I cannot live with the award all the time and mention about that. I'm someone who received this. So I have to use my action, my activities on the impact that have in the business and also in life to like the people, the community, because that's the real award for me. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many titles or award you get, you also need to live your real life and give the real impact to the people. So yeah, at first I have to thanks to many people that nominate me, and thanks to the organization and award also.
So Forbes Asia 30 under 30. Why do you think people nominated you for that award?
I would say I didn't think too much about like the why. Yeah, maybe because during that time my story is kind of I would say trend, and for Vietnamese women doing tech startup in travel and then don't have funding and then sold the house and then growing the business quite fast. So that they feature, and I think to be honest, during that time media also need the story. So many global media cover. So
Halam, I think you're very modest, and I really love that about you. But your story is very amazing, and people don't just nominate for no reason, right? And Forbes Asia 30 under 30 is an amazing achievement. And I know I've read stats where it's hard for women in Asia to get funding for business ideas or startups.
Yeah,
it's much harder for them to get the funding. I know you had a business, but selling your house is a big step to do. That's your house. Many people would be like, oh, that's so scary. No, I can't sell my house. And they might struggle to get that funding elsewhere. So I think it's amazing. And the second one is the UN World Tourist Organization celebrating her award for empowering women in tourism. Why is that so important to you?
For me, that's important because I'll say my experience in travel industry and my story that inspire other women from Africa, from the third countries. So because from women like us, it's very hard to get funding, because people think that, oh, you married, you have children, better to stay at home and be a housewife, and you got the good salary job. So that's the life many people want. But as the strong women like us, we need to do something more. Because for many women, we want to fulfill our dream, our mission in life. Even like we got the good jobs, good salary, happy family, but it's not fulfilled. So the gut and the curious and motivate and inspire us every day to deal with something different that help other people also. I still remember that moment that I receiving the award, because have not only help me, not only make my family, my parents happy, my children was so proud of me, but that's something that as a woman in tourism industry, I did it. Everyone can do it.
You did do it. You are doing it. You are doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
many other women will doing that.
Yeah.
Continuous doing that.
Yeah.
And then I'm hope, how say, I think that one of my thinking that for a few years later, when there's the conference and events, other people don't need to mention about women empower or anything. Just the normal conference, because when we mention about gender, that we already lower ourselves. Because we saw that this advantage and unequal in terms of gender. Yeah. So we don't need to mention about the number, how many percent of women in the tourism industry or in the other industry, because our president already speak it on. Hopefully. In the future.
Yeah, that's the future, right? Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that would be amazing to be at that point. Now, Halam, except you visited Bhutan, what has been some defining moments of your biggest learnings throughout life to get to where you are today?
I think that my biggest learning will conclude into two questions. The first question is, how much is enough? That means many people define their success, their happiness by how much money they make. Become a millionaire, billionaire, they have many houses, they have a comfortable lifestyle. But then money may bring you happiness, but at the same time bring you stress and depression. And people who know how much is enough, so they know where's the balance point. And I believe we will make a happy lifestyle in the life we want. So that's first question. And still every day I'm questioning myself. Because when you in the business, you always want more, right? So question myself, how much is enough? And the second lesson that I learned, that also have to question myself, how long is now? How long is now? That means reminding me, living in the moment, be a present moment, and be mindful for whatever I did. So whatever achieved in the past or happens in the past, that's in the past. The future we don't know yet. So we just know the moment. So now the moment, Halam with Michael, and we have a very, how to say, interesting conversation. So I value this moment. So how long is now? So every single moment I live in life with different roles. So I just want to be mindful and fulfill that role as in a good way. Yeah, that's two lessons. And I need to answer every single day.
Very impactful, very impactful. Halam, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your story. And can't wait to share your story with everyone else. Thank you so much. And safe travels back to Vietnam.
Thank you so much, Mikael.
Bye.
So, bye. Have a good day.
Bye, you too.